Sales velocity, high conversion, external traffic, and brand loyalty is how you're going to beat the Amazon algorithm in 2025. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down a case study of how I actually took my brand to be, it's a made in the USA brand, to be a top ranked product in a competitive niche using the insights that I'm going to give you. I don't really want to waste your time. I'm just going to give you an example and I'll walk you through how I would launch it with what I understand about the Amazon algorithm. Let's say, for example, you're going to try and launch a dog water bottle. Think Yeti plus portable dog water bottle, right? So maybe you see that, hey, all of these Awala, Yeti are making these cool bottles for humans. Nothing like that's been done for a dog yet. There's my in to this relatively stale market full of old Chinese products. I'm going to have it be high quality, US made, killer brand photos, great brand story, awesome SEO, backend, and external traffic. Let's get it. So first, set off with a goal. No, I'm going to rank this for what keyword? Dog water bottle in how long? 90 days. The first 90 days is going to be crucial, and I'll tell you why in a second. And then finally, third, flipped you off by accident. First, second, third, beat the current cheap Chinese competition that's low quality and doesn't have a brand story or high quality content with external traffic and a higher conversion rate. So just for context, let's say we have a new listing. We are brand registered. So you have a trademark that's been filed. You could do that with a trademark patent attorney. It's like $800 to $1,000 to do that. You do that before you start your listing. You cannot do it after. Let's assume we already have really high quality professional photography and a video. Brand video is going to be super important. And then finally, your A+ content is already live. So we're going to jump the gun a little bit and just assume you have a really good quality listing, because that's a given. That's a standard that I'm going to operate by. I'm not launching with $300 photography. I'm not launching with cheap, quick, rushed SEO. No, the listing is top par. That's going to be our ticket to a higher conversion rate. Now, where am I going to rank it on Amazon? So dog water bottle will be one. I'm going to use a combination of helium-10 and search query performance report keywords or something within Amazon Seller Central Brand Registry to put together a list of just long tail keywords that get searched a lot. Now, you don't have to go down the rabbit hole. You don't have to put together a list of 100. And in fact, if you did, you'd be kind of missing the point. We just want a relatively short list of long tail keywords, maybe negating just the broadest ones. Portable dog water bottle, dog hiking bottle, dog travel water bottle. Speak to listing optimization just a little more before we jump ahead. Again, I can't really say in words how to do this part. You really have to work with a really high quality photographer, and you have to pad the listing with every long tail keyword you want to rank for. And here's a way to do that. Front load the exact match keywords in your title. So the keywords you're trying to rank for, those long tail keywords, should be how you're describing your product. So for instance, in my case, what I did with this is 2 of my phrases fit into one phrase. And so I took that phrase and I put it at the beginning of my title. And those were the 2 keywords that I knew I would convert highly for. It was how I designed my product to fit those keywords specifically. So I front loaded my title with those bullets and A+ content in different variations. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that that 2 through 9 or top 10 keyword phrase list that we're trying to rank for, that we put together with helium-10 and search query performance report, is integrated into the listing with those exact phrases intact. That's going to help Rufus, the Amazon's AI. It's going to help Amazon's algorithm understand for this new product really where it should be positioned, what it is. And then you've also obviously by this point filled out your back-end search terms. So just including all of the relevant keyword terms into the listing. Okay, and then PPC campaigns, we're going to keep this relatively simple. So we're still pre-launch, right? It's all the stuff I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to have auto, broad, and exact. The auto is going to basically be like research. It's going to identify keywords that we perform well for. Broad is going to find us more long tail keywords. And so we're going to put in, again, maybe our top 8 search terms that we already know have search volume into broad. You can do broad modifier, so plus, and maybe include some of those phrases to be unbreakable. And then we'll have the those same keywords targeted with exact match campaigns to basically force Amazon's hand into being like, hey, here's what we think we're going to rank well for. Here's what we want to rank. And then Russell Brunson says in one of his books, I forget which one it is, dig your well before you're thirsty. So our final phase of this pre-launch sequence is that we want to develop a big list of potential leads for who to work with, who to share this product for us. And so these will be potential future raving fans, influencers that have already congregated all of our dream customers into their list of followers. Okay, and so you should be doing this months ahead of launch. While you're still in the R&D phase of the product, you should already have the brand name on all the socials locked down. You should already have posted a few posts documenting what you're working on, even if it's just, surveys about which logo people like better, or a few of the prototype samples sharing what those look like, etc. And you should be in discussion with influencers completely for free, completely naturally, that are already congregating your dream customers. And so what I mean by that is just go like their content, follow them, interact with them as if you are a member of that community. And what that's going to do is it's going to create this natural rapport between you. And so even though you don't have an offer yet, well, that's going to come up before you know it. So maybe in 90 days, you do have an offer. And by then, you're not a stranger asking them to promote your product. You're someone who's been an active member of the community for that long. That's going to really increase the odds of a couple influencers being happy to promote you even for free on day one. Okay, launch week. So we're going to fast forward now. So that was kind of pre-launch, everything you should have down, A+ content, great listing, everything we just said. Now, this is inventory is in. One of the best tips I could give you at this point is don't make the listing active until you have maybe about 500 to 700 units in stock. Not just in stock, meaning Amazon has received them in there somewhere. No, active available stock of your maybe first 1,000 units you've ordered or something is available. And so what that means is that across the country, anywhere that customers can buy this is likely to have 1 or 2 day shipping. So that's going to increase your conversion rate for free right away, because we're not jumping the gun and making customers wait 6 days to get our product, or even just 3 days is no longer really going to cut it when a lot of the best selling products are offering 1 day shipping that will come into play. The first thing we're going to do on launch day is activate our PPC campaigns. And now, our PPC campaigns, I cannot stress this enough, and let me maybe even over-exaggerate. Focus on 2 or 3 keywords of the 9, okay, that we've put together, because you're really going to rank and get all of your sales by being laser focused on a target, 2 or 3 targets that are the same keyword but broken up into longer versions of that same phrase. Because let me put it this way, if there's a search term that has 20,000 searches, and then there's a few long tail keywords, like, we were talking about dog water bottle, dog hiking travel bottle, and those have 15,000 search volume, 10,000 search volume, it's not going to benefit you to spread your budget thin and try and rank for 40 relevant keywords to that phrase and get all the long tail keywords and all the broad keywords. No, just take not the first broadest one, maybe not even the second broadest one, but the next 3. The next 3 that is exactly what your customers are looking for, and you have the perfect fit for that, and really drill down into those. Okay, so those might be where I set my highest budgets, and I'm directing most of my spend during this time. You should not, you've done something wrong if you have 60, 70, 80 campaigns or ad groups made for launch day. Just have a targeted approach of the keywords both in broad, auto, and exact that we want to try and rank for. This is going to force Amazon to see where this product belongs. It might be beneficial during this time, if you have dug your well before you were thirsty as well, to offer anyone who is a follower of yours, anyone maybe even on the detail sales page, a coupon to buy your product. And so we can discount our product on launch week to increase the sales velocity, right? And so if you've collected emails during this time, obviously you want to publish an email announcing that you have now launched and incentivize those buyers that have maybe been tagging along for the journey to actually become customers of it. Oh, really quick about the PPC as well. You'll probably want to run higher than average bids. Once Amazon has information about your listing, you'll be able to cut those back during our optimization phase. At this time, suggested plus 10%, suggested plus 15% is probably going to be most beneficial to you to get the highest number of impressions and the most number of sales. We're really not aiming for profitability right now. We just want to start the machine, start the gears turning for making sales for these specific keywords. And then of course, anyone you've made a relationship with of these influencers during this time, it's time. Get everyone that you can to post about this product. I typically approach this phase from who I've built organic relationships with. I have yet to pay someone a large sum of money to do a post for me, someone that I don't, have any natural rapport with. I went the other route of I'm going to spend more time on social, but I'm going to actually just build relationships with influencers. So of course, this is a great time to give them some Amazon attribution links, track how many sales they're making, and potentially even give them a discount code like we mentioned before, specific to their audience, so their audience maybe feels incentivized to try this product out. This is the time to do it. So we've got PPC, we've got influencer launch. Any emails you've collected during this time, you're going to publish an email to them. And then you're also going to be making organic content on your own Instagram, on your own TikTok, letting everyone know that, hey, it's launch week, you can get the product now. And we're going to be I want to stress this. Send the traffic straight from Instagram, straight from TikTok to Amazon, because you'll be rewarded by sending external traffic to Amazon via Amazon's newest algorithm, okay? I cannot stress enough the importance of external traffic being sent to Amazon and even a percentage of those people converting, because you're hooking Amazon up with new people that, well, what do people do when they're on Amazon? They buy products. So even if they didn't end up buying your product and you send a couple hundred people to Amazon and some other people bought stuff, well, who was it? What brand was it that got us these customers that ended up spending money on our platform? It was this brand, it was this person. So we'll reward them with sales rank on their list. Now, the key metrics that I'm watching during this time frame are, of course, like we said at the beginning, kind of dropped the sauce in the pan, unit session percentage or conversion rate. That's just basically split up into orders and units. So if there's one order but 2 units in it, that's what unit session percentage is. It'll count that and average that. Click-through rate. Now I'll give you targets for this, by the way. Unit session percentage in the first week, let's try and get it above 10%. Okay, if you're falling below 10% unit session percentage, you've got a disconnect there between that traffic that's landing on that listing, and maybe what that even might mean is that the social proof missing could be having an impact on that conversion rate. But a lot of the time, it's basically just your price and your quality of your listing and the keywords that you're getting the traffic from. So that's something I'm watching out for. And then my click-through rate, I'm looking for click-through rates 0.5%, 1% and above. Okay, we don't want to be falling into under 0.5%, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. That click-through rate is bad, so that would indicate that our main image might have a little bit of a problem, or our price might be scaring people off, something like that. And then sales per day, this technically is one of the main things everyone's thinking about during launch week. How many units did I sell on day 1? How many units did I sell on day 2? If you can start generating 5-10 sales a day within that first week, that's going to be, in almost any market, a really strong sign to Amazon that this product has a future on our platform. Okay, it didn't launch and make 1 sale and then no sales, 1, 2 sales. No, from day 1, try and push as hard as you can with PPC and external traffic to keep delivering 5 to 10 purchases plus, as obviously as much as you can is the goal here, but try and hit those baseline numbers so that you're developing a from day 1 positive sales history with Amazon. Because like we mentioned, 90 days is our schedule that we're going to be talking about here in this video. We're still in day 0 to 7 at this point. Let's focus on that metric. Now, speaking of what day we're on, let's move forward a little bit. So say you've just completed your first week of sales. You've been averaging 5 to 10 sales a day. You have a higher than a 10% unit session percentage. You've got a click-through rate above 0.5%. Things are looking pretty steady. And so what do we do now? Do we start optimizing? Do we start, at this point, I've probably spent quite a bit of money on ads. I've probably retired quite a few of the influencers that were going to post about it during launch week. And so it's starting to come back more and more to my ability to sell successfully on Amazon and what's happening, right? First, we're going to be reviewing all the information that we gathered during that first week. At this point, say day 8, I would hope that I'm in the top 100 results for the top 3 keywords I'm trying to rank for that I've exact matched, broad match, etc. So I'm somewhere on page 2 or 1 organically at this point, because hopefully based on the math I gave you, you should have sold 50 to 100 units already, right, in week 1. No, that's not exactly right. It's not been 10 days. So 35 to 75 units or something like that, right? You should have sold keywords or products under that specific keyword already in the double digits, close to 50 units, 60 units, something like that. And that should have pushed that listing already. You'll start to see that progress already, and it can be exciting. One of the biggest tips I can give you at this point is that your unoptimized PPC that you launched, heavily focused on your main keywords, the broad and the auto campaigns will likely be wasting money. They'll likely be targeting keywords that you are never going to rank for. And so it's at this time that you might want to go take a look at your search terms. It's been running for 7 days straight. You haven't touched anything. And see that, oh, we've wasted 25% of our budget on the broad campaigns targeting water bottles for kids occasionally. And so what you're going to do is you're going to add those to negative search terms. At this time that I might even start pushing my exact match bids up a little bit more, because I'm going to try and take advantage of a little bit of the momentum that we're building to keep pushing more and more sales to the specific keywords that I do want to have high organic ranking for. And I'm going to start cutting some of the spend on the broad search terms now that I've got some data back and I can see what's happening. At this point, you'll likely have seen which influencer posts, which organic posts you've made that are performing well as well, which ones have a decent amount of views, which ones have good engagement and shares, etc. Take those and maybe run ads with those videos. You can boost those posts talking about this product being public now. You can ask for permission to access the video from the creator who made it for you and boost ads on it. Okay. If you want to get a little out there, you might even be able to ask them to boost it from their account and pay them more than what they're paying to boost the ad. If they're going to boost it for $10 a day, tell them you'll give them $20 a day for the next 7 days to run that as a boosted post. They get followers from it for free. Win-win. You get more conversions. You get better reach on that post. That was from someone influential in the space. No brainer. Again, I learned about that from one of Russell Brunson's marketing books. He's talking about running paid ads in Tony Robbins' account for one of his book launches. And they were paying them for it to run it through their account. I've not personally done that technique, but I'm thinking about this stuff a lot, and that's something that I think on the next time I do launch a product, I would like to try with some of the relationships I've built over the previous ones. Maybe that's even for the second or third one. Slightly optimize your ads at this point, making no dramatic cuts, not getting scared off. Keep pushing with your organic content and your influencer outreach and their posts about this product, and fast forward another week. Okay, we're really not going to touch too much here. We're going to keep pushing. Okay, now that we've built up this momentum, a little bit of momentum, we're actually going to pretty much enter like the momentum phase. We were kind of in launch phase. Now we're getting into like, let's keep this momentum going. And so say we're on week 2 at this point. You've sent a ton of traffic to the listing. You should be ranking in the top 75 positions by now. And you've built up a lot of PPC backend data. As a brand registered seller, you might want to use sponsored display ads to retarget a lot of that traffic that maybe ATC'd or clicked on the listing but then didn't purchase. Those people showed some engagement, maybe send out a coupon to them with an incentive to buy again, and try and keep the pedal to the metal on getting those people to purchase. This is also a good time, now that you've built a little momentum and you're not just going to completely waste your money, to launch your sponsored brand video ad. On my product that I launched on Amazon using these specific methods, I waited until about month 1 to launch my sponsored brand video ad. Maybe it was even month 2. But in retrospect, you can push that up forward. I just didn't have one at the time. You could push that sponsored brand video earlier in the phase. I don't know that I would launch with it. It's going to be a little expensive, probably not likely to convert. Now that it's 2 weeks in, you should have some reviews. You should have some organic momentum. You should have some sponsored momentum. Launch your sponsored video ad at this point. It should lay out problems customers typically have and why this solves those problems. It should be focused on on-screen text. It should look relatable. It should be showing the use of the product in clear ways and bringing up the main points that customers are talking about. Again, Rufus, if someone has questions, make sure you're answering those questions with the video ad. So at this point, week 2 through week 4 or 5, 2 weeks into a month in, some things you're going to want to start seeing happen is that conversion rate going up as we're adding negative keywords in and reducing wasted ad spend. We're going to want to see our organic rank being pushed up towards position 30 through 25. You're somewhere on the middle of page 1 in the first month for your organic term that you're trying to rank for. And the longest tail keyword that is relevant, maybe you're even already positioned 15 or 20 organically. We've sold by this point in the first month. Hopefully, in the first week, we're doing 5 to 10 units. We've now sold somewhere between 300 and 500 units in the first month for this product. That's going to be a really good sign to Amazon that this is a product that's going to do well on their platform, and they're going to continue to deliver more and more traffic to you. Also, a metric I like to start watching is PPC versus organic sales. If you can hit by 30 to 40 days in, 40% organic sales, you're going to know that you're going to have a successful future on Amazon. If you're still hitting 80% PPC sales, 20% organic, and you've pushed the organic listing up to this 20th position, you probably have a problem that needs to be addressed. I would like to see, even this early on, during our momentum phase, that my organic listing is driving me 40% of traffic. Eventually, that'll switch to be up to 75% organic traffic on the listing, just not during this phase. We're going to be after day 90 to start seeing results like that. Now, after day 45, a month in, month and a half in, now until all the way up to 3 months in, day 90, we're basically entering our stabilization phase or our optimization phase. This is when I want to start gradually lowering my PPC bids by 10% at a time on my optimization days to start bringing tacos down, bringing profitability up, and relying more and more on that organic listing and all that push that we made with influencers, social, and PPC spend to start having Amazon being the prime deliverer of these sales via their organic customers and our retargeted customers. I would, at this point, launch subscribe and save. You're going to become eligible for subscribe and save on your product. At this point, we're talking about the case study example being a dog water bottle. So subscribe and save doesn't make a ton of sense here. Say you had a product that customers could buy multiple times a year. Go ahead and activate that and give the biggest discount you can. That's going to encourage repeat customer purchase behavior. You also want to keep hammering on that retargeting with sponsored display PPC to customers who've been showing interest in your brand who just haven't quite bitten the bullet yet. Get them to buy, keep giving them coupons and offers to keep coming back to your listing, along with rewarding existing customers with retargeting to purchase again, potentially if that's relevant to your product. That's going to be a huge sign to Amazon, that customers are coming back to your listing to buy a second or third time. That, again, is going to help you get ranked. Some of the metrics, again, just to keep this simple, that I'm looking out for, that you want to look out for, it's kind of redundant. Conversion rate should be stabilizing somewhere at 15 to 20% unit session percentage now. This depends on the market that you're in, of course. I'm speaking in my case, my general insight here. But you should try and push that set unit session percentage, obviously as high as you can, no doubt. But at this stage, I'm actively taking a look at, well, why isn't it moving up? If it's not going up, can I get it to 20%? What would I have to change? Would I have to change my listing images? Would I have to answer some questions customers have about the product a little bit better? But hopefully with a significantly better branded made in the USA product, I should have a 20% conversion rate. I'm really getting kind of stubborn about trying to push that up to that realm. And then I start paying a lot of attention, 90 days stabilization optimization to tacos, total advertising cost of sale. And so I want to get that down to 15%. Below 20% is always my aim with that. So if I have 40% margins, less than, say a 15% tacos, then I've got a 25% net margin after ad spend, after boosting the listing up. That's starting to sound pretty damn good to me. If I do 100K in sales in a month, then I make 25 grand in profit on that product. Great. And then of course, your BSR, your organic rank, I'm trying to push into the top 10 organic by this point. 90 days in, stabilizing your listing, you should have pushed into, give you a little room, right? 5, 5, 5, top 3 rows of Amazon organically. If you can push into the top 5 and you can actually be one of those top products that customers see, obviously that's just going to be to your benefit. The final statistic, of course, monthly revenue. Hopefully we've pushed up above $1,000 a day in monthly revenue at this point. Depends on market size. Again, yes, but that's typically how I vet products to begin with, is that I want to get them to do $30,000 a month minimum using this information, creating a great brand for them, going through the trouble of sourcing them in general. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. Thank you so much for sticking around all the way to the end. You're an absolute legend. And if you need any help whatsoever, you can head over to my Patreon, where you can join my monthly community or even book a one-on-one call. So thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Later.